What's up, guys? It's Parnellyx, and today I'm not playing a game myself. Ever since the new patch dropped a few weeks ago, new item changes, massive changes by the way, across the board. Every item in the game nerfed fairly heavily, honestly. Pretty like, for Riot standards, pretty heavy nerfed across the board. And that kind of changes things up. It's not technically a new season, but it's pretty much a new season. It basically feels like preseason now, with having to figure things out, figure out new builds, new play styles. Lethal tempo was added back to the game, stuff like that. So I've been trying to cook up some secret formulas of my own, and to be completely honest, I've kind of struggled a bit. Yeah, I've struggled. I have been playing more jungle recently. I've not really done much mid lane, even though I've been pretty much maining mid lane the past couple years. I've been trying to revert back to jungle. Haven't been doing much top lane. I'm just trying to make jungle Warwick work, because I feel like jungle Warwick might work pretty well with this new patch, but I haven't figured out a build. I haven't figured out a play style that really works. So because of that, instead of forcing a video where I, just give my opinions on some build that like works okay for me, I'm going to the Warwick players that are succeeding on the new patch. And one person that is succeeding on the new patch, who, well, he pretty much always succeed on every patch, is Xylo. Xylo is a EU West challenge. He's always a challenger Warwick player on EU. Has been the past few years. Right now he's in Grandmaster, which is, considering that the season reset, pretty good. I don't think there's really many challenger players at the moment. He's probably going to be challenger here fairly soon. And yeah, he's got a good win rate. I can't remember what it was like. It was like 65% or something like that when I saw it. So I am wanting to see, curious as to what he is building and what strategies he's going with, so that I can learn. Also so you guys can learn, but also so that I can learn, because I genuinely need to see what other people are doing right now. So setup here, he's going the lethal tempo. To be completely honest, I'm not a fan of lethal tempo. I think on paper it looks really OP on Warwick. Warwick should be like the best lethal tempo user in the game, because its bonus damage scales heavily off of bonus attack speed, and Warwick's W gives, it's the highest bonus attack speed bonus in the game by far. So you get like a ton of on-hit damage with Warwick's W when lethal tempo is fully stacked. But that being said, I don't know. I think it feels very underwhelming. I think it's too hard to stack. It's a little bit too situational. And even when it's fully stacked, I don't think it's like super like 1v9, even on Warwick. So that's my personal take here. We'll see that he goes for a full clear, and then goes for a bot lane gank. He has the ghost as well with the lethal tempo, so that he can have more sticking power. I like ghost with lethal tempo. I think it's necessary actually. In the games that I did go lethal tempo, I just like, whenever I went flash, I felt straight up useless because I'd get kited too much. But with ghost, you have that ability to just stick on enemies and run them down. His other runes is going to be Triumph, Legend, Alacrity, Last Stands, and then he also goes with Cosmic Insight and Magical Footwear, which I don't think is probably the best secondary runes. I don't think it matters too much, but hear me out. Best secondary rune page on this patch is Nimbus Cloak, and I think it goes Celerity, something like that. I think it goes Celerity, but I think Nimbus Cloak especially, honestly, cooks this patch. Remember, it used to be like really broken a couple seasons ago. Like everyone ran Nimbus Cloak in the jungle, and they just nerfed it, and no one could go it. But they buffed it back up again. Like they buffed it back pretty hard, and I think people just forgot about Nimbus Cloak. But like it's back to being OP in my opinion. So I'd recommend going Nimbus Cloak secondary with Celerity, and you could go Celerity or maybe even Water Walking. But I'd personally go Celerity, but do have a strong opinion there. But that's what I'm going. I've been trying a variety of builds. I've been trying my Overlord's Blood Trail build that I made a video on recently. I still think that build is fine, but I don't think it's as good as it used to be. And I don't know. I haven't found a build that's consistent. So yeah, Xylo, he's rushing the Tiamats as always. Also he goes Blue Pets. I used to go green pets in the jungle the past couple seasons. However, I actually also like blue pet now, because with damage across the board getting nerfed, I think that the green pet shield isn't as like necessary. Technically, it should be more impactful if the shield is more valuable, but I think that the movement speed from blue pet just helps a lot with tempo and maybe with how you want to play. We can see right, early on here, Xylo he's ganked once. He has ganked once and he's playing for farm. He's full clearing, taking neutral objectives here. And he went for a bot lane gank just because it was available to him, but he didn't overforce it. He just popped the ghost, went for the kill, dipped out, reset, and is just back to farming. He takes the dragon here because he knows that's the Volibear's top side. Doesn't care about the grubs. I actually watched a replay of him before this game as well. He did the same thing. He ignored the grubs and he went for the dragon. He prioritizes the dragon. I like grubs. I think grubs are great, but I will say that it doesn't feel like it really like changes the outcome of the game too much unless you really know how to use, like your team knows how to use the grubs. So it's maybe a little bit more team reliance. I think with dragon, you can at the very least, even if like dragon, in my opinion, isn't like that impactful until he gets a soul, it does put pressure on the enemy team and kind of can force them into bad mid-game team fights because they feel like they need to fight the dragon. So that's the main advantage that I think that it offers. And whoa, he does a whiffs the ultimate a little bit, but it's a gap closing ultimate. Of course, that was intentional. All Warwick players know that. If you're a real Warwick main, you know. And she's just showing up to this mid-game team fight here. It's kind of just broken out. Takes up a couple free kills, and I don't think. Oh, alright, okay, nice. Well, he dies. Still pretty good. I mean, he's 4-1 right now. Kind of curious to see what items he goes. I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward it real quick, just so we can get straight to it. Going into Titanic. I think that's kind of interesting because I've actually seen him go a lot of Stridebreaker in his match history. I actually didn't even know he had a Titanic game in the match history, so that's that changes things up a little bit. I think the Stridebreaker, one thing to note about Stridebreaker is that it's it got nerfed like a lot more heavily than other items did with the new patch. Gold wise, it's like if you actually like look at like how much gold value it is to upgrade Stridebreaker, it's pretty poor. The amount of damage is just kind of nuked, and Titanic is going to give you more damage. Ravenous Hydra is going to give you more damage, obviously, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Titanic just kind of gives you a little bit of everything. The one thing about Stridebreaker is, of course, you get the utility factor, and with lethal tempo, that can be good. So Xylo does go Stridebreaker quite a bit with this setup because of the fact that you are going lethal tempo, and a fully stacked lethal tempo with Warwick against enemies who are low HP is going to wreak some havoc. But this game, he's going with the Titanic Hydra. I'm kind of not sure why he decides to go Titanic this game. Maybe he just feels like he doesn't need the movement speed bonus. Kind of goes a little bit too deep right there. I was trying to protect this dive, but he might have kind of screwed up. Might have screwed up here. Okay, he definitely screwed up. He definitely screwed up by having to waste his ultimate there in that situation. Kind of sucks, but it'd be like that sometimes. He probably should have just like covered. I mean, Captain Hindsight here, but he probably should have just shouldn't have went into river there. Comes back to this bot fight. Takes up a freebie on the Ahri. Akali also TP's in. He's able to grab another kill, so that's all cool. I think Akali's just gonna go ahead and push out the wave, and now he's gonna go back to farming, doing what he does best. He's a farming man. Also, he's going boost of swiftness this game. I know I've seen that Xylo really likes the boost of swiftness. I liked boost of swiftness a lot this last season as well. Although I will say, ever since that they nerfed the boots across the board, like all boots, went up 100 gold, pretty much. I think that the boots of swiftness value, maybe like kind of like relatively speaking, went down a little bit. But I think like all boots just in general just kind of feel bad at work. Like it used to feel so good to get boots, and now it just feels like it just delays you, but you also need them. So I don't know. I know technically the boots price change nerfed everyone. I feel like just for Warwick it feels worse because it's just such a necessary item. Goes in again, another gap closing. That was unironically a gap closing ultimate on the Syndra there, because you can see right there, like, it doesn't really matter if he lands it. He just needs to get on top of her and Q to avoid the stun, and then boom, he's just chilling. Goes deep, goes hard in the paint here. I think his Ghost isn't running, already used it, but yeah, he's kind of popping off at the moment. 7 and 2, goes for the dragon here. So playstyle. The thing that I've noticed about Xylo's playstyle is that he just farms a lot, stays really high in gold and XP by power farming. I've been playing a lot more like gank heavy in my games, and that's probably my issue. I haven't been finding as much success with ganks as of late, and therefore when I'm ganking level 3 and I fail, I'm just kind of putting myself in a position where I'm just kind of behind. But Xylo's always ahead. Every time that Xylo's going to show up into a fight, he's going to be strong because he's not showing up to too many fights and whiffing. When he shows up to a fight, he means it, and he has intentions of killing someone. So he doesn't go for these 50-50 plays, these 50-50 ganks. He goes for like 70-30 ganks, honestly. Ganks that he thinks has a pretty high chance of working out right here. Like right here on this. I mean, this is a little bit riskier for sure. And yeah, he ends up pulling out a 1-for-1, which I won't say it was like, it's not worth it in the end, but I don't blame him for going for it, you know? Sometimes there's just sometimes you go for plays and it's like the best case scenario, you get a big benefit off of it. And then, you know, if things do go wrong or things don't, you know, go the way you'd like, it's a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, which isn't really like that much of a risk. So sometimes it is worth you know, playing a little bit aggressive. So you can see he's going into Bork second. I know he likes Bork second. Whether he's going Titanic or Stride Breaker, he likes the Bork second. Bork synergizes very well with Lethal Tempo because Lethal Tempo, again, when it's fully stacked and you have that bonus attack speed from your W, your Lethal Tempo is going to be shredding people. But if you attack, even if you have a fully stacked Lethal Tempo, if you're attacking enemies above half HP and you don't have Bork, you're going to be doing 0 damage to them. So the Bork is there to allow you to deal damage against high HP enemies, and then the Lethal Tempo and your W is going to allow you to shred low HP enemies. So your just damage is just high across the board. You're not going to really have a weakness or find yourself in a position where you're just struggling. Okay, he goes a little bit too ham here. One thing I have found about Xylo so far this season is he seems to go too ham too much, which I can relate. So this is actually great for me to watch because I can kind of like see a little bit of myself in him. You're not a real work player if you don't have an absolute psychotic decision making. So it's fun, you know. It's fun. It's fun to play that way. So we're going over here for the pick on the. Sorry, my camera goes a sec. We're going for a pick here on the Ahri because Nautilus is setting it up. We don't have ultimate though, so we have to just play a little bit safe. And he's just gonna dip here. He doesn't see it, so he's just gonna back out. Key thing about jungling, or really anything in League, but especially with jungling, sometimes you like whether you're involved in a play or not, you just need to walk away and let your teammates die. If your teammates int, they're caught out. Don't force every fight. If you're tilted, you might find yourself, you know, trying to make everything happen. But in League, you gotta load into every single game, realizing that bad stuff's gonna happen. Like that's just the reality of it. It's a back and forth game. Someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna get caught out. You're not gonna be there in a situation. You're gonna have to give up some objectives. But it's about how you're able to minimize the damage and then maximize your opportunities. So push your advantages as far as you can safely. Of course, it kind of just depends on the situation you're in. If you're really far ahead, you should probably play a lot more safe and conservative. But make sure that you aren't just losing too much. Because otherwise you're gonna turn like a minorly bad situation into an absolute catastrophic disaster if you're not careful, or if you're not even necessarily not careful. It's just you're just maybe a little bit too insecure about bad things happening. So he doesn't have the Bork yet. Looks like he's probably just gonna go ahead and get it. Yeah, he's gonna roll with it. We're going Bork here. Almost have the blue. pet, which is good. Now we're going to take red buff and probably contest this dragon, I imagine. Last one over here. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and start it. The entire team is here, minus Aurelia, which actually could be a problem. I guess Nard doesn't have TP, so it's 44. No big deals. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and just... This volley's in the middle of nowhere, so we're going to just kill him. Head straight to the dragon. Kill this thing. This puts us on soul point 17 minutes in. He also, I know that Xyle really loves stacking the dragons. I'm actually always someone, I'm a dragon hater. And I think that is why I'm struggling. I'm a dragon hater, but it's just so impactful to stack up these dragons early, and you have complete, like, you have a massive just psychological macro advantage on the enemy because they feel like they have to force something. It feels like a ticking time bomb for them. Really nice Q follow on the lantern there to kill the Syndra. He's just going to keep chasing down this Thresh. Oh, really good Q to avoid his E. That is why he's a challenger Warwick player. He's got the mechanics. It's not just he's not just right clicking. I mean, he's doing a lot of right clicking, but he's not just right clicking. He Qs, you know, he can Q sometimes as well. Really fantastic stuff here. So game is pretty even as far as gold's concerned, but obviously because there's a 3 dragon advantage here, it's swings everything into Xylo's team's favor. Also, all the gold is on the Ahri. I didn't even realize that the Ahri was this fed, to be honest. As well as kind of Volibear. Volibear being fed, honestly, might have been kind of a problem. With this setup, it might be a little bit easier to deal with, but Volibear is just a hard champion for work to deal with. He just is like a massive stat check champion that is disruptive, and he's hard to kill, but also deals like a ton of damage, and I always just hate playing versus Volibear. So when Volibear is this strong, it's gonna kind of make it a little bit difficult to 1v9. I don't know if Xylo can really 1v9 this game. I think he's gonna need at least a little bit of assistance from his team. He needs them to play somewhat human. But and Ahri obviously is not really threatened too much, although, you know, it kind of just depends. If she goes a little bit too ham and you are through the charm and you're chilling. Oh, so he uses R there, cancel the CC. Okay, just makes a quick pick on the Volibear. One thing that Xylo does do a lot better than I do is he's willing to take the quick pick. It's kind of opposite of what I was just talking about in regards to, like, sometimes you need to, like, know when to back out and, like, let your teammates die. Kind of in some situations as well, in a similar vein, you have to know when to just make, like, just kill someone and get a very small advantage. Sometimes you just need to just take the small advantage. A lot of times I find myself trying, like, saving my ultimates in order to make a big play, and then we just know we get no kills. And then when we get no kills, we're not able to safely reset. We're not able to set up Baron Vision. We're not able to just, you know, push out waves. Puts us in a kind of a more awkward position. So even though, like, it's not just about the 300 gold that you're picking up on killing the Volibear there. It's much more than that, actually. It's just about position on the map. Oh, again, TP flanked right here. I think this might be bad. This might be bad. Yeah, he's a little bit too ham on a build that's a little bit too squishy. Oh, I say that and he just kind of doesn't work there. So even though he did die, he did kind of leave a mark on them. And I think that they won't be able to do Baron as a result. I don't know why I'm using any map this way. Oops. Oh, sorry. Wrong camera controls there. Ignore me. Anyways, fast forward a little bit. Cool. So he's going Thornmail. He really loves this Thornmail third. I know statistically speaking, Thornmail is actually, like, really overpowered this patch, which whenever I look at it, I mean, just look at what it gives you. Like, I feel like it's kind of not that spectacular stat-wise, but I guess statistically speaking, it's an overpowered item, and it's getting nerfed next patch, I believe. But this game, I actually don't know about going at this game, to be honest, because, like, they don't have an ADC. They don't have an ADC. They have 2 AP champions, and, like, I would just go MR this game, like, for first thing at least. Maybe Thornmail later, but I would personally just go like MR item here, just because I think you got to be able to just absorb the Ahri damage, Syndra damage, and also, you know, Volibear's E's magic damage as well. So I don't think he's gonna be, like, doing a ton of physical. The only one thing you have to really worry about is Gnar, but And granted, Gnar is going to deal a lot of damage, but I mean, Gnar's W is also magic damage, so. Personally speaking, I think you just got to go some MR here before you get a Thorn Mail, but he likes to just kind of go this build order. Keeps it simple, which is fine, respectable, understand that. And, well, mid laner got picked out, so I don't think you can really go for the dragon. I think actually right here what you do is you want to push out the mid wave, and then you just get vision around Baron. So you gotta accept you're not gonna get the dragon, but you can put yourself in position to yeah, anyways, we did not see that. We did not see that, guys. We're all world players here. We understand. We're not gonna call anyone out. We're just gonna leave it be, you know. Anyways, so going ahead and reset here. I think he likes to usually get like Kanik Rukern around here. Looks like he could be going to Spirit Visage, but I think he likes to go Kanik. Which actually I think Kanik this game is gonna be really good. It's gonna give you that a fat magic damage shield. And considering that Ahri and Syndra are super bursty, that's pretty nice. But yeah, I think someone gets caught out, you know, and you have to give up Dragon there. Just set up Baron and put yourself in it. Like you kind of put yourself in an advantageous position in the next 60 seconds. So now they have vision around Baron Pit. They can play around mid and top, and it's going to be really hard to bully them out. Although Ahri is doing a decent job at the moment. But they're definitely in an advantageous position around this Baron Pit just because they have the vision control, and it's going to be a bit annoying for the enemy to play around. So that's kind of an example of minimizing the damage that you take in losing situations. So you know, even though Akali got picked and you lose up the soul, you're still able to get something out of it. Xylo's gonna go ahead and clear out the Grom. Ooh, Irelia makes a pick. And everyone is spamming the Baron because it's like gonna be a 5v4 situation here. Now Irelia, oh, he goes to the pick on the Ahri here, which is bold, very, very bold. But he forces the Ahri out of the fight. And even if people don't die here, I don't really know. Oh, nice, get a kill. Nice, let's go. Okay, Ahri gets a kill and flashes away. I still think that's good though. Overall, really good. Because you can just go ahead and do the Baron here, I think that, okay, Volley Bear approach too aggressively. Irelia is split pushing bot lane as well, so someone on the enemy team has to deal with that. Ahri is going to be the one to pick. Ahri does have TP, worth noting. But I think you just go ahead and just hit this. You don't even really care if you're Warwick right here. You don't care if Syndra hits you. She's not going to be able to kill you. As long as she doesn't kill the Kai'Sa, you're fine. So yeah, just take the Baron, resets. Again, I think Kanik Rukern here, right? Yeah, he's going into the Kanik. He can't finish it yet, but he's going to Kanik. And I thought Ahri was in like a bad situation. Looks like she's all good. So we're gonna go ahead and I assume he's just gonna try to take these Krugs. Clear what you can. Wait for your teammates to just push out the waves, really. Irelia needs to push out the next wave or two, and then everyone just needs a group mid, pretty much. There's still a tier 1 turret mid, which is crazy at this stage of the game, considering that they've been kind of winning this entire game. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't gotten that tier 1 turret. I suppose there's the siege on your team isn't very good. You just have a bunch of melee champions that like to dive and stuff, so they've been defending that. You have to play around the split push in these situations. So because you have to play around the split push though, as Warwick, that's no issue. You're not a good sieger, so just like wait for Irelia to split bot lane, and if someone overextends, you can go for a kill there. Equally, if more than one person goes bot lane, then you can brute force mid lane. Silo getting hooked here isn't good because he does burn ignite and stuff, and maybe burns a couple ultimates, but just makes them happen, and you just get caught out there. Not good because obviously you die here, but even if you didn't die, you just kind of like lose tempo mid lane when you didn't really need to. I really is split pushing bot lane without any regard, you know, for anything. She doesn't have to. She can just keep cracking away at the turret until someone shows up. So, I mean, actually, let's look at her. Boom. Okay. But now we have Dragon Soul coming up. I think we finished the Canic Recurrent. Yes, sir. Yes, we do. And we just set up Baron. Oh, sorry, we set up Vision around Dragon. Akali has TP, so she can just... It's actually good for Akali just to go be top lane so that she can TP flank. TP flank here is good. And just hope to maybe run some people down here. Goes again for the easy pick on the volley bear. This will also stack up his lethal tempo. Although they have so much CC, it's not going to be able to... That's the one thing about like these type of comps I kind of don't like. I don't like when you're Warwick and you use up your ultimate too soon versus teams that have a lot of CC and mobility, because then you're just going to just be kind of useless. I think he used his ultimate maybe a little bit too soon. But it's kind of hard to gauge because at the end of the day you did kind of want to kill the volley. Sorry about my camera controls again. I'm not used to this. Okay. Looks like we're gonna go. Oops. Going for a pick top lane on the Ahri. This is inting from Ahri's sake, so that's good. You needed that. We really needed the ints. Oh, oh yeah. We also got the soul. So we're actually in a pretty good spot here. Ooh, he actually went for he grabbed a pot here. So he's not popping it yet, which is interesting. He's just kind of waiting for a team fight to break out before he pops it in order to maximize the amount of time you can use it, because if he already popped it, like, you know, he's not actually really getting value out of it, the elixir here. So just, yeah, in these siege situations that are about to happen, he just is going to want to, yeah, this is actually usually what I do. Push out mid lane, and you want to just play a flank angle. Warwick is not good at sieging. He's one of the worst champions at sieging in the game. So you want to just play the flank angle. Want to approach from the side or, you know, from behind if you can. And in this situation right here, push your mid lane, threaten a flank, force them off the turret. Looking good. And then just frontline for your team. Also worth mentioning, by the way, he goes W max into Q max into Q max. Pretty simple stuff. Goes deep in here. He's gonna die, but you know he distracted. He distracted, which I think is okay. Maybe he needs to like, you know, try to focus the Ahri a little bit more. If I had to say, if I were him, I'd focus the Ahri a little bit more. He's kind of... I know with this setup it's hard to do much to the Ahri, but at least save your ultimate for it. Doesn't matter, gets the dub. 13, 8, 12. This is Xylo's build, this is playstyle. So again, key things to remember here. He likes to power farm quite a bit. He likes to play a flank angle and hit the front line. He uses his ultimate early to get early picks. And he just doesn't over-force ganks. He plays for objectives as well. Plays for the dragons. Because that is one of the best ways in solo queue in order to force advantages in the mid-late game. It forces pretty much the enemy team to make bad decisions as a group. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you want to see more VOD reviews of Xylo or even other Warwick players, because I'm completely down. But interesting from my perspective, because again, I've been struggling myself, and I just wanted to see how he's been handling the new season with, or not the new season, new items with Season 4 Split 3. Thanks for watching. Peace out.